is from Antique Swordfish 4943. What's the truth of 2L year? I'm a 1L going to my 2L year in 2 months. I've been seeing so many memes from other law students saying it only gets worse from here to 1Ls. How bad is 2L year compared to 1L year? Is it harder, easier, better, or worse? I want the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I would say 2L year gets a lot better than 1L year. I found myself uninterested by a lot of what we learned 1L year, in particular property, contracts, torts. So 2L year, I focused my classes around criminal law, which is what I knew I wanted to do coming into law school. So I think 2L year is a lot better than 1L year.
My 2L year was, if you can believe it, worse than my 1L year. I took 17 credits for all of my 2L year, so that's probably what made it worse. It's gotten easier, but I don't know if it's gotten better. Everything just kind of adds on, thinking about studying for getting ready for the bar. So you don't really get a break, I don't think.
Okay, consistent with what I've heard, that the stress doesn't reduce, it just evolves. It's a new set of problems.
It's stress that you might be more interested in, at least.
Yeah.
So
he's shooting. I don't know who's shooting. None of this makes sense to me.
It is the Fellowship of the Ring, I believe. And it's the ending scene, and it's like the big orc, and he has like a huge bow and arrow, and he's shooting, I want to say Boromir. He shoots him like 6 or 7 times. So he has all these arrows in his back, and he's like falling over, barely able to like stand. The meme is the orc is the gunner, quote unquote, in the class.
Okay.
And all the arrows are all the questions that a gunner would ask a professor. So,
okay.
So the idea of a gunner, right, is you ask all these questions, you're in the top of the class, you're a go-getter, you're trying to be on top of everything. I think this is funny because I'm a gunner without being a gunner. I'm super irritating in class. I'm like, Professor, what about this? Can we talk about the bottom of page 52, footnote 2?
I thought a gunner was just someone who talks a lot in class. Here's the thing, like people who talk in class, they're not necessarily like the ones who get the best grade. They're just the people who talk a lot.
Hence me relating.
I think in Lord of the Rings, Boromir has this redemption arc, and you finally come around to liking him, and then he gets peppered with these arrows, and it's this long, drawn out, terribly emotional scene. So maybe it's also playing on we're feeling bad for the professors who are being peppered with the questions.
Oh. As a professor, I feel like I don't mind the questions. The worst thing in class is when like no one says anything and you're just like sitting there and it's just like silence and you're just like, please, somebody say something. This is painful, especially on Zoom.
It's much harder to participate on Zoom. Did the professor notice the raise hand function? Is your volume not working? Do they want you to use the thumbs up sign instead? How many people are in the class?
Wait, instead of raising your hand, you're supposed to use the thumbs up sign? Why? If a potato can become vodka, then I can become a lawyer. What does that even mean?
I don't know. Maybe it's shapeless and mundane and sad. And if it can become this magical elixir, maybe I too can get there.
I don't even know how a potato becomes vodka. Maybe that's my problem.
I'm still not sure how a law student becomes a lawyer, so.
This was a meme made by one of Shiwanni's classmates.
They prefer to remain anonymous.
I believe you are capable of much more, and then the underperforming employee says, I'm not.
When like you go to office hours, your professor's like, okay, ask me a question. And you're like, I don't even know where to begin to ask you a question so that you could help me.
Well, at least you went to office hours. I feel like half my office hours are just like tumbleweeds. And then like the Zoom window closes for inactivity and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, office hours over Zoom does require this level of intentionality that wouldn't normally be there If we were in the building, you can just say hello.
Do you go to office hours, Zach?
I was hoping you didn't actually call on me. I've never been to an office hour in law school. I feel like
Ever?
never once.
Why not?
I don't know. I tried to do office hours in undergrad and they were never helpful. And maybe I just didn't think that they would be any better here. But then again, I haven't been, so I wouldn't know. Maybe they're the greatest thing ever. So
This is a Reddit post by Still Not a Swan. If I see another humble brag LinkedIn post, I'm going to be sick. I mean, I'm happy for my classmates. They worked hard, applied early, did all the right things, etc. But I am so worried about myself and my own prospects. Am I completely screwed, etc.?
My answer, because this was me, is a resounding no. You are totally not screwed. Until like June, there are so many opportunities out there for law students, and you don't have to be in the top of your class to still get a really rewarding summer experience. It's really easy to turn a seemingly non-related law job into something that future employers may actually consider as a positive. One of my best friends was the nanny this last summer because she didn't find a law-related job that she enjoyed. And in her subsequent application that she ended up landing a job for, they asked about the nannying that she did over the summer. Mm-hmm. And she made a pretty good joke about how interacting with infants now is going to help her interact with lawyers in the future. And they loved that response.
Also, you can take summer classes. That's what I did. I took 6 credits of summer classes, and it allowed me to lighter load in my spring semester and have a judicial externship.
I'm a 1L, and I feel like all everyone talks about is who participates the most, who messed up in class, who's a gunner, etc. I feel they all think I'm stupid or look down on me because I don't participate enough.
So although it's really difficult to not compare yourself to your peers, law school is a time to learn and grow. And I think that should be the focus.
So like I think I've said, I'm super participatory in class. It's kind of how I learn. So I've definitely been on the receiving end of, gosh, Shiwanni, why are you asking that question? But yeah, if I'm not going to stop asking questions, because then I'm not going to learn anything.
How do you brief every case? 1L. I guess the 1L's asking this. 3Ls, we don't.
In 1L year, you're like, I have 50 pages of reading. I have no idea how I'm going to get through all of this. You're in the library till like midnight trying to like outline every case for torts. And then by the time you get to your 2L year, you're kind of like, I can take it a little bit easier.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to brief every case. From Jans Princessa. Why the F do I procrastinate on everything? The pandemic has made it 10x worse, and I'm even procrastinating on things I'm actually interested in want to do. WTF, man.
I mean, everybody is paying for their time at law school, and it's a lot of money that you'll pay back for the rest of your life. And I feel like this is not the time to procrastinate. That's my opinion. However, with Zoom law school, the feeling of procrastination, I think, has become a lot more prominent in everybody's life, myself included. So trying to find innovative coping mechanisms or innovative ways to combat procrastination, I think can be really meaningful in the long term.
Wow, that's pretty unsympathetic response.
I've never been in law school in person. It's almost like I'm playing the role of a law student because it's not anywhere in my surroundings.
It's like a video game, like a virtual reality of law school.
I think part of the difficulty in law school is that you can't really procrastinate, kind of like Zach was saying. But when you don't want to do something or it's too hard, you procrastinate by doing other things that you have to do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thing where I'm like, I really, really don't want to do, say, this criminal adjudication reading, but I have to do my criminal investigation reading. So I guess I'll do my criminal investigation reading instead of my criminal or something like that.
I was reading a thing online that said procrastination is not about time management, it's about mood management. And you're just doing it to manage your mood and like avoiding the bad feeling of doing something you don't want to do. And so sometimes remembering that it's about like managing your feelings can help a little bit, I find.